Hello everyone, my name is Erin McDaid and you're very welcome to an Offshoot TV special. We're delighted to be able to bring you the conversations with both candidates for this year's SU presidential election. We're going to hear from both Daniel Sanusi and Emily Roberts and take questions from our lovely audience. This is all ahead of the student elections which will take place this week across all three campuses here at Ulster University. We're in Belfast today. This is the Moot Courtroom on the 7th floor of the BC building, a very nice, intimidating room name. But we promise to keep things as easygoing as we can between our two candidates and give them plenty of time to say their piece. We also have Mark Frankos and Mandy Mulholland from the SU as returning officers. They will keep me right with the rules and the timings. They'll also have a stopwatch running and will give 15-second warnings if necessary. To get us started then, each of you will have 2 minutes for an opening address. Before we began, we tossed a coin to see who goes first, and I can now tell you that it'll be Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily Roberts, your current Vice President for Education at UUSU, and I'm campaigning to become your next President. A little bit about me. I am 22 years old from County Armagh and a UU graduate from the School of Applied Social and Policy Sciences, having studied at Jordanstown and Belfast. I went straight into employment, having been elected your Vice President of Education, a job I can hand on heart say that I thoroughly enjoy and love. My long-term career goal is to work on bettering the post-primary education system, particularly integrated within Northern Ireland. Just as a student, I established the school-wide Social Science Society, organised the first ever student-led school-wide Career Exploration Day, and led on monthly student research projects. Since being elected your Vice President of Education, I have successfully achieved all aspects of my manifesto and more, ranging from writing the National Charter tackling violence against women and girls in Northern Ireland, representing the student voice on improving seats, renters' rights, breastfeeding spaces, and establish the Women's Empowerment Network, just to name a few. As President, I pledge to continue my work on tackling violence against women and girls in Northern Ireland, particularly focusing on nightlife safety from transport to local bars and pubs, and evening timetabling within winter months. Improve campus balance, both academically and socially, from careers fairs to study spaces to even your social spaces. Lobby for student bursary increases, something I have already begun working on, and supported NUSUSI in increasing student maintenance loans within Northern Ireland. I have also supported the social work students in creating a conference to take place in April. I also pledged to research and act upon existing UUSU policies, including keeping Wednesday afternoon free, reading week standardisation, equality networks, and childcare facilities. I want you to know how you can improve your union's policies and improve your university experience. I plan on focusing on issues that matter to you, the student collective voice.
Okay, thank you Emily, and next Daniel.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Daniel Sanusi, the current Vice President for Equality and Belonging in the last 8 months. I'm a graduate of International Business with Data Analytics from the Maggie campus. I am not coming with eloquence of words or a desire to be the next, just a desire to be the next UUSU President. I'm coming with experience both as an international student and home student, as an undergraduate student, as a postgraduate student, as a mature student, as a student with parenting responsibility. I'm coming with proven track record. I just don't say, I act. I have delivered in the last 8 months, making Swan operational, fighting for an innovative breastfeeding space, fighting for the international student to have a very flexible payment plan, ensuring that free accommodation was provided to international students during the Belfast unrest, and also ensuring that the international students had an additional receipt opportunities during the failure. I don't just make promise, I make things happen. And my presidency will be a student-led, student-first leadership, and I'll make UUSU stronger, proactive, and truly representative. Thank you.
Perfect, guys. Thank you very much. We should say as well, streaming on Offshoot TV on our YouTube channel for the 1-minute manifestos, not just from Emily and Daniel, but all the candidates across the various elections taking place this week. Next up, some questions we've had submitted before we gathered today by the online members of the SU here at Ulster University. We'll alternate who answers first with each question, and the timer gives you 3 minutes max per question. So starting off with question number 1. You've both been an SU officer for a year. What would your number 1 priority be as president? Emily, you can answer first.
So my main priority would be to listen to the collective student voice, to represent UUSU, because UUSU is our membership. 27,000 plus students. My manifesto is based off of what students have asked me to achieve. Through Brew Mondays, student voice forums, casual conversations within the corridors of Ulster University across all 3 campuses. So listening to the voice is what is important. That is a priority of mine, and it is ensuring that we actually implement what students are asking for, which is exactly what I've already been doing for the past 7 months. I think it is also prioritising student safety for females, students that identify as female. The messages that we get on a regular basis are shocking, they're not okay, and we need to actually prioritise that students are coming on campus and feeling safe while they are here and while they're leaving. So that is why I want to prioritise working with the university on timetables during winter months and making sure that no student feels unsafe going home. It is working on the connections I've already built with TransLink and making sure that we have good nightlife and public transport. It is prioritising that we are listening to the student voice on an ongoing basis. So I don't know what's going to come up in the next year. I really don't. Nobody expected the Belfast unrest. Nobody expected COVID-19, but we act, and that is something I'm good at doing. I know I can do that. I know I can listen in the moment and adapt my team to work based off of what students are asking for. So yes, I have a manifesto based off of what students need now, but I am prepared to build on that and adapt it to what students actually need. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you for that, Emily. Daniel, now your turn.
All right, my number 1 priority as the president would be to ensure that the student consent turns to real changes. The UUSU will no longer just be a student voice, but will be a force to reckon with, a force that brings changes. I would ensure that in student finance, student experience, student well-being, that these are all put into place, and also ensure that the continuity of the good work with which we've commenced now as VP Quality and Belonging also continues when I become the president. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you so much, guys. Question number 2 for Daniel first. How do you intend to represent McGee students through the ongoing expansion plans for the campus?
All right, thank you. As a graduate of International Business with Data Analytics with the MAGI experience, I would work closely with the MAGI student reps and also the society to ensure that the voice is amplified at the University Senate and Council level. I will advocate for an enhanced and inclusive and accessible student social space, and in the new development. And I also work closely with the DFE, work closely with the University Council to ensure that student learning needs are prioritized in the new development. I won't just be representing the MAGI student. I will make sure they're actively involved in shaping the future of the campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Now it's your turn, Emily.
So the current McGee Task Force Working Group doesn't actually have a great student representative on it other than our president. I want to work with whoever is elected VP McGee in growing student representation on that meeting. Even in local meetings taking place in town halls, we need better representation. So I would like to really focus more on ensuring that we are there at every single meeting to ensure that any decisions being made has student involvement in those decisions. I took the time to read all documentation submitted to the McGee Task Force, working with staff members within UUSU and our president. There's a lot of talk about parking, there's a lot of talk about accommodation, both which are extremely important, but there's a real lack of talk about childcare facilities. Where is that within the McGee Task Force documentation? There's a significant lack of talk about expanding UUSU services. If we are to double the number of students at McGee, we need to ensure that our services are growing to meet that demand. And so far, I don't see that. So that is something that I will significantly work on with VP McGee, because nobody will know that campus better than the VP McGee and the students that are actually studying there. So we need to make sure that our student representation is there and it is strong and it is vocal. And that is where I would play a part in the McGee expansion.
Thanks for that, Emily. Question number 3 for yourself, Emily, first. Having worked together for almost a year, what sets you apart from the other candidate?
I would have to say I have such strong communication and listening skills. At every opportunity, in every single meeting I have sat on to represent you, I have not sat back, I have not been quiet. Anytime something didn't sit right with me, I made sure to not sit back. I would also like to say that I achieved my manifesto quite early on in the year because I'd already been actively working on it as a student. I have made sure at every single opportunity I have been a helping hand to my entire team at Ulster University Students' Union. Anytime a student has reached out to me, I have made sure to follow up on every single item brought to my desk. Any single item that another officer has needed support with, I have made sure to offer guidance. I have made sure to contact them throughout the day, throughout the week. I have played a vital role in student voice forums to make sure that all voices are heard. That was evident with the seats. I had so many messages about the seats not working. And I made sure to get in contact with the Vice-Chancellor and the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, and that is where that video came from, because I knew that things weren't okay. So I would like to say that as VP Education, I have done absolutely everything that I can in every opportunity to represent you. I also would like to say that as a candidate, I have a policy degree, so I know how to write policies, I know how to write strategy, and I know how to read them, and I know how to act upon them. And I do think that plays a vital role in setting me out as a candidate. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Emily. Now, Daniel, your turn.
All right. While we have worked together as a team, my approach has always been action-driven and also student-focused. This is one thing that set me apart. I have a proven track record of delivering real changes. I have the ability to bring student concern to the right decision maker. My experience is there. I have the vision, and also I don't just raise student concern, I make sure I get results. This is what set me apart.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that, guys. Thank you guys for those answers. Next, our wonderful audience here today also have some questions, so let's hear from some of them now. Just put your hand up and we will alternate who answers first. Okay, we've got a lovely guy in the black crew neck jumper there.
My name is Lucas. I'm a student nurse at McGee. Basically, the nursing bursary was introduced in 1998. The bursary gives student nurses £5,000 a year, and it hasn't changed since its introduction in 1998. This would calculate to £2.56 an hour. Student nurses to register with the Nursing and Midwifery Council must complete at minimum 2,300 hours before we can register with the Nursing and Midwifery Council. Do either of you intend to speak up for student nurses, many of whom are struggling to make ends meet?
Thank you for that question. Daniel, would you like to go first?
All right. While bursary is great, but that won't solve the cost of living cost alone. I would ensure a full financial support system that works for all students, not just the nursing student. Currently, I worked on ensuring that we have a flexible payment plan for the international student. We'll also look into expanding this for all students. We'll work with the finance office and also the DFE so that the current hardship fund can be increased and also expanded to all students. And we'll also look at working with local businesses, to encourage facilitation of student discounts. This is just to make sure the cost of living of a student reduces. So this is what I will look into.
Thanks for that, Daniel. Emily, your turn.
So I actually supported UUSU in achieving the maintenance loan increase with student finance. The reason why bursaries are so difficult is because they actually come through the Department of Health, they don't come through the Department of Economy. And that is a key issue because we're already so stretched within Northern Ireland. We also had an absent government for quite a number of years, which has honestly impacted us significantly. I am currently a member of the Higher Education Working Group, and that is actually a priority of mine. I have already raised this with both the Department of Health, Department of Economy, and I have actually raised this with the Social Work Council and the Nursing Council. It is a manifesto aim of mine because it's not just that the bursaries are so low. We have a number of students that are not receiving their bursaries on time. The bursaries are also an issue because those students are not actually allowed to access the hardship fund. So that is an internal issue that I plan to work with student wellbeing on, and our VP of Sport and Wellbeing, who will also oversee that through his remit. Not just that, but even our childcare support, that doesn't extend to those bursary students. It really doesn't. It is an ongoing issue, and it is something that the union already knows exists, and it is something that I am currently working on very closely with our president, and I plan to continue once elected as your president.
Perfect, thank you guys. Any more questions from the audience?
Hello, my name is Avin, and I'm doing MSc Fire Safety Engineering here. So I have a question follow up to what Emily was saying. Like the first priority is listening to both students have to say. See, what I think is like if you're listening to students, the prevailing voice is going to be of the privilege, right? So there are like people who are silenced, like the voiceless. So if you see the pockets of linguistic minorities or ethnic minorities, what kind of actions are you planning to do, or what did you do, like as officers last year, to listen to these voiceless people?
Okay, that's a great question, thank you. This is actually something that I can sit here and say that Daniel and I have both worked on collectively together, is re-establishing our equality community networks. Daniel, as he has said, has worked on SWAN. I have worked on the Women's Empowerment Network, and this is just the start. This is something that has been missing from UUSU since COVID. We have a brand new student voice coordinator for engagement. Charlotte is brilliant, and we have worked very closely with her in bringing back that voice from marginalised groups. And we are putting a spotlight back on the fact that UUSU represents its entire membership, 27,000 plus students. Then we would never turn anyone away that has something to say. There's no filter in my inbox that sections people depending on their gender, race, ethnicity, what language they speak. And that's important. As a student who is female, who came from a single parent background, who has got a child that is only 2, I do understand what it's like to be not heard, but I only come from one background, but that is where these equality communities come back through. And I was very happy to work with our governance coordinator on bringing back some of those policies, such as the breastfeeding, such as the women's empowerment policies, and that is work that I intend to continue.
Perfect, thank you. Daniel, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yes, beyond the network, setting up of the network, I've also worked ensuring that we have the BIM Plus network, which is currently a work in progress. Looking at language literacy, especially for non-English speaking students, we're currently working on ensuring that the university learning system, the Blackboard, it's inclusive for all, not just international students, but even students with additional needs, neurodiverse conditions and thereabout. Even aside the network, we currently have the International Student Forum, which is in progress, which will be a conference to ensure that international students are heard by the university leadership. And also, like I said, when I get into office, one of the things I want to do is to have a student partnership forum where all students can talk directly to the university leadership, pouring out their hearts, not just marginalized students, but all students. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you guys. Thank you guys. And any more questions from the audience? No? Okay, that's perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for everyone for taking time to attend today, and a special thanks to anyone who asked a question. Before we leave our voters to make their decision, another opportunity for our 2 candidates to address you all directly with a 1-minute summation to end. Emily, you got to go first at the top of the show, so that means Daniel goes first now. Let's hear what you have to say in conclusion.
So I'm not here to make empty promises, I'm here to deliver results, just as I have done as the VP Quality and Belonging, from accessibility to financial fairness to inclusivity. I've worked relentless to improve student life, and as the president, I will even do more. So from 9 a.m. on Tuesday, the 6th of March, to 4 p.m. the 4th, I'll do that again. From 9 a.m. the 4th of March to 4 p.m. the 6th of March, go online, uusu.org, click on election, log in. Then when you see the presidency, just click on Daniel, vote for Daniel for presidency to create a USU that puts you first, because your voice matters. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Daniel. Over to you, Emily.
So, as your VP Education, I have a proven track record of achieving my manifesto. I achieved it so early that I actually got to start working on new things that students were bringing to me. I've also taken a year to support my fellow officers in achieving their manifestos. So yes, whenever voting opens, vote Emily Roberts for president, and I'm the best person to represent you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, guys, for that. That's everything from this special here at Offshoot TV broadcast, showcasing the 2 candidates here that you have for the SU president in the upcoming elections. I'm going to hand it back to these 2 guys here to tell you the best way and how to vote, and thank you so much for watching.
So from 9 a.m. on the 4th of March to 4 p.m. on the 6th of March, you can go to the website uusu.org, click on election, log in with your details, then click on presidency, and pick your candidates. You can as well scan the QR code which will be pasted on campus, leads you to the same webpage, or you can as well go to the student portal.
Make sure that you're logged in when you're casting your vote, otherwise it probably will not work. If you have any questions, make sure that you head down to the UUSU office and there will be an individual ready to answer your questions. If you cast a vote, let somebody know because you will get a cream egg.
Brilliant, guys. Thank you so much.